Saiempu all about?
Ma'am, I tried to find out the meaning of Saiempu, ma'am. I've even contacted some of my relatives and also grandfathers. I presume with my limited research which I have done, that might be a village in the borders of Guntur or Ongole district, ma'am. I'm not completely sure, but that's generally the thing which we generally use as a surname, the village.
Okay. Anantaram, Machapur, Warangal. You belong to Warangal?
Yes, ma'am.
Why Warangal is infamous for Naxalism?
Yes, ma'am. So Naxalism has its roots in the colleges of Warangal, ma'am. The graduates of especially NIT Warangal and also from CKM college, they have led this movement because of the underdevelopment which we have.
Why only Warangal?
Ma'am, Warangal is contiguous to the areas of Dandakaranya, especially the Laknavaram forest and the Etur forest. So the proximity to it might be the reason why the Naxalism is.
What are the major reason for Naxalism as such?
Ma'am, major reason is I think it should the main reason is the propaganda which is being undertaken by the.
It was started in India?
Ma'am, it is started in the Naxal Bari, that's why the name
Who
Naxal.
are the major leaders at the time?
Charu Majumdar is one leader which I can remember promptly.
Kalu Sanyal.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Sanyal. Yes, ma'am.
Why it was started in West Bengal?
Ma'am, that's also the reason why I think the deep forest first thing, and the second thing it is the proximity.
Deep forest in West Bengal. Where is the deep forest in West Bengal?
The
Sundarbans.
Okay, the proximity. I'm sorry, ma'am. I think it is the proximity to the Nepal is what actually, and
proximity to Nepal.
And also the communist government which was there in the.
Have you studied in depth about Naxalism?
No, ma'am. Sorry. Yeah.
What is Red Corridor?
Red Corridor is from Tirupati to Pashupati in Nepal.
Red Corridor is from Tirupati to Pashupati.
That is how it was defined in previously.
What are the states in Red Corridor as on date?
As on date, it is just limited to the 35 districts according to the Ministry
of. I'm asking Red Corridor states.
Yes, ma'am. So it is right now present in the Odisha, Chhattisgarh, and also some parts of Madhya Pradesh and also Jharkhand, ma'am.
There are only 4 states in Red Corridor as on date.
As on date, and also some districts of Telangana is also affected by the.
Do you have a proper idea about Red Corridor? What is Red Corridor?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me how many states are there in Red Corridor? At least how many states?
Exactly, I am not having the idea, ma'am. Correct number, I do not remember it exactly. Okay. But according to the Ministry of Home Affairs data, the intensity of the Naxalism is more in 35 districts.
What is
Salva Judam. Yes, ma'am. Salva Judam, as far as I remember, ma'am, it is it has happened in Chhattisgarh, Bastar area.
Only in Bastar area or in entire Chhattisgarh?
Ma'am, I'm not correct. I'm not completely sure about this particular fact.
Who are urban Naxals?
Yes, ma'am. So urban Naxals are those people who support with respect to the material, with respect to the propagandizing, or with respect to.
Is there any proper definition for urban Naxal?
No, ma'am. It is.
Is it an official word?
I think it is not an official word,
but. You think it is not an official word, or do you know that it is not?
I'm sure. It's not a technical word, or it is not something which we have defined as such that these people are urban Naxals, but it is a generic term which we use in common parlance, ma'am.
Okay, you belong to state of Telangana.
Yes, ma'am.
How many districts are there in Telangana?
Yes, ma'am. Right now, 33 districts are there in Telangana.
Right now, 33 districts are there in Telangana. Yeah. Can you name some of the districts which are named after persons in Telangana?
Yes, ma'am. Sure. Ma'am, first one I recall is Jaishankar Bhupalpalli.
Who is Professor
Komaram Bim Asif.
Who is Professor Jaishankar?
Professor Jaishankar is one of the pioneer of this Telangana movement, ma'am. As far as I remember, he belongs to Kakatiya College, Kakatiya University. That's what I remember. Komaram Bim Asifabad, ma'am.
Who is Komaram Bim?
Komaram Bim is the leader of this Gond tribes, ma'am.
Recently, one lady from Telangana, she died, Mallu Swarajam. She died last week. Mallu Swarajam.
Yes, ma'am.
Who is this Mallu Swarajam?
Ma'am, please give me a little moment. I'll try to.
Do you know that the lady died?
Yes, ma'am. I'm aware of this fact, but I'm trying to recollect exact the thing what she has done. Ma'am, I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm not able to rightly recall.
She was a fighter.
Yeah.
For separate Telangana state.
Okay. Okay.
She is, I think, 80 or 90 years old.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
She is a very brave lady. She is considered a very brave lady in Telangana.
Thank you, ma'am.
She died last week.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
She is a great contributor for Telangana side of Bakaram.
In 16. Yes, ma'am. Sure. Thank you, ma'am.
And then you are from Warangal and you have done your BTech Civil Engineering in IIT Delhi.
Yes, ma'am.
So what is the rank in IIT entrance?
Ma'am, 1598.
1598. Okay. Is IITs are good for learning?
Absolutely, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
How many IITs we have in India today?
Ma'am, I'm not exactly sure about the number of IITs today we are having.
You are studying in IIT.
Yes, ma'am.
You should know at least how many IITs are there in India.
Ma'am, recently we have established a lot of new IITs. I think we have established IIT Jammu, we have established IIT Tirupati. We have.
You have IIT in Andhra Pradesh?
Yes, ma'am. Tirupati. IIT Tirupati.
IIT Tirupati.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you have studied in IIT Delhi. What is unique about IIT Delhi?
Ma'am, some unique facts are like this is one of the smallest campus of all IITs, ma'am. It is located in between the city. I think we have a very vibrant culture and also very vibrant exposure to the foreigners as well, because Delhi being the capital city, we attract a lot of foreign students as well.
Okay.
So I think that's something which we take pride in, ma'am, from IIT Delhi.
Okay, you studied civil engineering.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it your favorite subject? Civil engineering.
Ma'am, in civil engineering, I do find some of it streams interesting, ma'am. Not everything, but my favorite subject being chemistry is my favorite subject.
So civil engineering you have taken with the force? Not
by force, ma'am. I have opted it according to my rank-wise openings back then.
How did you come from Hyderabad to Warangal to Delhi for the interview? Is it through flight or car?
Yes, ma'am. It was flight.
Have you seen Delhi airport?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you visited Hyderabad airport?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me the construction style of Hyderabad airport and Delhi airport.
Ma'am, both have been renovated, especially in the recent times by the GMR construction group, ma'am.
Hyderabad airport is recently constructed.
Okay.
It's not renovated.
Okay, sorry, ma'am. Yeah, the Palam airport, after Palam airport, even our IGI Indira Gandhi airport as well is newly constructed one. Both are done by the GMR group.
Which is the most recent one? Is it Hyderabad airport or Delhi airport in construction?
Just a second, ma'am. I'll try to recollect it. I think it is Hyderabad airport.
Okay. Tell me the construction model. I've seen palatial halls without a pillar.
Yes, ma'am.
And without so much of obstacles. The airport construction is so fine.
True, ma'am.
How could it happen? As a civil engineer, explain how Hyderabad airport, what is the uniqueness? What is so unique about Hyderabad airport?
Ma'am, the uniqueness which I can recall right now is, ma'am, it is fully air conditioned and it is supported by a lot of trusses, because of which you might have observed this no presence of pillars, ma'am. So the load bearing is completely taken by the trusses, and there is a lot of very less dead weight, ma'am, on the roof and all. It is made by the aluminum sheets, and because of these sheets we have very low dead weight, which is actually supporting a very wide roof which we are having, ma'am. So that's one reason why I think any passenger might not have.
What is the civil engineering techniques of Kakatiya dynasty?
Yes, ma'am. So we have quite a few civil engineering techniques of Kakatiyas, ma'am. One of the most famous one is sandbox technology, which we can see in the Ramappa temple, and the other one being we do not find any kind of concrete, or we do not find any kind of cementing materials between the pillars or between the walls, ma'am. So that's one thing which I can recall. All the technology or all the buildings are made with respect to the interlocking technologies, ma'am. So
I'm observing in your DAF
Yes, ma'am.
that you work in online education,
Yeah.
online tuitions.
Yes, ma'am.
Online tuition. According to me, tuition itself is a big headache and baggage for the student. And you are talking about online tuition. Okay, is it preferable? Is it correct?
Ma'am, I may little take. Ma'am, can you tell briefly that why do you really think that tuition is a big headache, ma'am? If I may humbly ask you.
It takes your leisure time. Okay, already we are educated in schools or colleges, and tuition is something which will be taught in a private way. And tuition takes away our energies also. And tuition charges more rather than school.
Yes,
For all these things, tuition is a headache.
Ma'am, from my side, my arguments for tuition is, ma'am, it is always has been a win-win situation for me. Whenever I teach, it's a two-way thing.
Asking from the students' point of view.
From students' perspective, I do agree on certain respect which you have made the point, ma'am. It may kill the leisure time of students, but it's always from the perspective of the student that if he or she want to excel in some areas which he is lacking, I think tuitions are a good thing or good way to
you
excel.
Support tuitions?
Yes, ma'am, I do support tuitions. Yes, ma'am.
And result awaited for Central Armed Police Force.
Yes.
You got the result?
Yes, ma'am. I was selected in that.
Then why you are coming to civil interview again? If you are selected to PBA, do you want to leave the job? Is it not waste of energy and time for the country and for yourself too?
No, ma'am. Not at all like that, ma'am. I am passionate. I am really. I have passion towards the uniform services, and also the civil services being was on the top of my list of always, ma'am. From since my graduation. So I think going and serving the people on a larger respect in a diverse manner will be anyone. So like it will be a priority for anyone, ma'am, especially a man like me.
You wrote that your mother is a housewife. Yes, what do you mean by housewife?
Ma'am, I would like to humbly take that back, the wording which I have used, ma'am. I came to know that that's not right word to use.
You came to know, you are
after DAF 1 submission, I've got to know that that's not a right word to use for my mom. She's an homemaker, ma'am.
Are you really convinced that it is not a right word, or?
I'm really convinced that that's not a right word.
Your father does agriculture.
Yes, ma'am.
What does he cultivate?
Ma'am, he cultivates paddy, maize, and also we cultivate some cotton, and on besides we cultivate some vegetables as well.
What's the type of soil that is available in Warangal?
Ma'am, in Warangal especially we have laterite soil, black soil, and also red soil.
Is agriculture lucrative in that place?
Ma'am, presently it is becoming little remunerative, but it wasn't the same case back a few years back, ma'am.
Right. Endurance exercises.
Yes, ma'am.
Exercise itself needs our endurance. Then why this special word, endurance exercise?
Yes, ma'am. With respect to me, I generally take it to little extremes when I exercise, ma'am. So I generally do not just jog or just walk or just run. I always take exercises as an opportunity to test my persistence and test my endurance with respect to my mental state, especially, not just physical state.
Right. So exercise also enhances our mental stability.
Absolutely, ma'am.
You mentioned underprivileged children. Who are underprivileged here? What do you mean by underprivileged?
Yes, ma'am. So underprivileged students, I consider any student who doesn't have who have this problem of accessibility and availability of rightful guidance at the rightful moments, ma'am. So I consider all those people, and especially I always compare like this, ma'am, especially with respect to me. I am the first graduate from my entire family. So I consider whomsoever parents are not so educated or not so well to do. So I consider all of them as with respect to especially the studying aspect.
Yes, already government is providing RT Act for them.
Yes, ma'am.
Then again, why you mentor them? Already there is an act for them.
Definitely, ma'am.
If you ensure that act is going on well, that's enough. A special mentoring.
Ma'am, special care or special mentoring will definitely go a long way, ma'am, because it might instill some confidence in the student with whom I'm associated with, because they can actually project, they can have this projectile of my reach from my village to Delhi, and also to instill that confidence, and also side by side I can also instill the knowledge part as well, ma'am.
You are General Secretary, Civil Engineering Society, IITD. What is this IITD?
IIT Delhi, ma'am.
So short form, acronym.
Yes, ma'am, because I was given the limited space, so I wanted to be brief.
General Secretary, Civil Engineering Society. So what is Civil Engineering Society?
Yes, ma'am. That's the departmental society of our college, ma'am. It looks after entire civil engineering aspects, especially with respect to the human resource management, and also with respect to the accommodating of newcomers and finding internships for those people in the third year, right, or the pre-final year students, and also jobs for the final years. We try to attract companies for visiting us.
Companies.
Like attract in the sense, we try to invite them for the job placements.
Okay. Gold medal in hockey inter-IIT Sports Tech 2016.
Yes, ma'am.
How many players will be there in hockey?
Ma'am, 11 players.
Hockey is losing its charm in India. Why?
I humbly differ with you on this respect, ma'am. Hockey is gaining charm in recent times. The winning of bronze medal, and also
Who is the leader of the hockey team? Which won bronze medal?
Mandeep Singh, ma'am.
Who is Dhyanchand?
Dhyanchand is our great hockey player, ma'am.
Who is Milkha Singh?
Milkha Singh was the runner, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Dhyanchand is a great hockey player.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Your mock is over.
Thank you, ma'am.